hello, which is the, is this just coming up? You got that? Yeah, great. Actually, not from London, just landed 3 weeks ago in Asia. So getting acclimatized to the region, glad to be here. But hello is a really important word for mobile and for telecoms. Its history actually is in telecoms. It was invented so that we had something to say when we answered the phone. It was accredited to a guy called Thomas Edison back in 1870. Quite a lot has changed since then. Technical difficulties on a digital forum. Fantastic. Try again. There we go. What you saw there was a whole load of great stats, great statements that tell you how important mobile is. And every year you get this statement, this is going to be the year of mobile. There's huge expectations and this huge hype, and it normally gets greeted with this kind of response. People think, well really? You did tell me that last year. So I'm not going to stand here and tell you that this is going to be the year of mobile, or maybe next year is going to be the year of mobile. But it is going to happen, and it's going to happen fast. And the question for brands and for all of us out there really is, which side of the adoption curve do we want to be on? On the planet right now, there's 6.8 billion people. There's 4.8 billion mobile handsets. And you compare that to the number of TVs, just over 1 billion, the number of PCs, again, just over 1 billion. You see that mobile is actually the world's largest mass market communication channel we have. So what does that mean for this region? 2.1 billion mobile subscriptions in APAC alone in 2009. It's a phenomenal amount. Yet the potential is for even faster growth. Average mobile penetration is around 55%. Compare that to other parts of the world where we're already above 100. You can see actually there's a lot of headroom still for mobile. Compare that to broadband penetration and internet penetration, and mobile is actually far outstripping it. What that means for our consumers in this part of the world is that for them, mobile is the internet. Where there's lack of access to PCs, laptops, and those kind of things, mobile is their way into the internet, which is again vastly different to other parts of the world. So they're using the mobile for watching film, for downloading games, downloading music, banking, financial transactions. So it becomes an absolute key channel in their life. Now, as developing economies continue to grow, so will consumer spending. And again, you get, well, so what? Economies grow, consumption goes up, expenditure goes up. Well, yeah, you're right. But what is interesting is what they're spending their money on. And it's handsets. In particular, in Indonesia, the trend is for spend to be on handsets rather than increased contracts or talk time or other communication services. What's driving that is music-enabled phones and, more importantly, social network-enabled phones. So the phenomenal increase in Facebook, and that's being accessed by people's mobiles. And that trend will only continue to grow. 25 million people on 3G networks, and those are rolling out across the region as we speak. And the reason for this is that what you got on a PC in terms of processing power 8, 9 years ago, what you got on your desktop, now comes in this, in the palm of your hand. So it's all about handset capability. And the benefit to our consumers is that we have a multitasking, multi-ability device. So it can be your address book, it can be your alarm clock, it's your calendar, it's your camera. It's how you talk to people, how you might open your car, how you might transact. There's even a room which you can call people on these things. And what that means for us as advertisers is that gives us an opportunity to connect with them in line with their use of the phone. It gives us multiple opportunities across SMS, video, mobile web. It gives us a whole range of tactics to allow us to interact with our consumers in a much more unique and personal way. So what does an excellent mobile marketing campaign look like? Well, before I left London, I was working on Axe for Unilever. I was working on that for 3 years. I want to share with you a couple of case studies. So the marketing objective for this campaign was to drive consumption. We found out that guys weren't using the body spray enough. So instead of using it once or twice a week, we wanted them to use it every morning. With that, we had an insight that most of our guys were using their mobiles as an alarm clock. So we had a creative idea, which was called the Axe Wake Up Service. So guys were able to pre-register and arrange for a wake-up call at a certain time in the morning, and a seductive lady would wake him up in a nice way and suggest also that he sprays his Axe body spray that morning. Every day that he kept on going with this campaign, the messages became a little bit edgier, a little bit more saucier, which gave him a compelling reason to stay involved, waiting to see how far it would go. Had phenomenal success with this. 20,000 participants, over 1 million hits on the site. There was activations around resorts. It was an absolutely fantastic campaign. You might think, okay, well that's Axe. That's Japan. Can we get away with that somewhere else? Well, the answer is yes, you can, and yes, we did. So we brought it to India and Indonesia, where the Axe effect is slightly toned down. And in fact, the main aim for a guy is to get a girl's phone number. That's the ultimate aim. We had a campaign where guys could opt in, they could ring a number, and then they could answer a couple of questions to decide whether they had the Axe effect or not. If they did, then they received an opportunity to apply for a wake-up service or receive a ringtone or a wallpaper. Again, phenomenally successful. So why did it work? Well, for a whole number of reasons. There was a genuine insight, both around the audience's consumption of mobile and also around culture, about the interaction between girls and guys. So from that, there was a clear role for mobile. It was personalized. Every time you had a call, it used your name. So the girl would use your name. It was heavily personalized, and there was a compelling reason to engage, right? Because you had a lovely girl every morning waking you up on the phone. content was refreshed every day. Every day the messages got more and more saucy and edgier. But it was linked to sales. We were driving consumption, and this worked. So all in all, the key message to land with this case is that it was a fully integrated campaign. The above-the-line communication had the call to action, with mobile sitting right in the centre of it. And as we move forward, as I talk a bit further, you'll see that that's actually fundamental to how you land a mobile marketing campaign. My experience of working with brands, oftentimes we're talking about an activation and someone says, great, we could do mobile around this. By that point, it's too late. We should have been thinking about this on day one. So, how can mobile work for you? What are the key benefits for mobile? Have we lost the presentation, or is it just me? Have you got that? You got the deck? No? Ah, there we go. Key benefits of mobile then. First one, it can be contextual. It can take into account time of day or time of year. Here's a great case study from BMW in Europe. What they're able to do, they had a database of all the consumers that had bought a BMW that year. And then when winter set in and it got a bit colder, they were able to send out an SMS to all these drivers and say, hey, winter's setting in, perhaps you should think about buying some winter tyres. And with that, they were actually able to say, well, we know what car you drive, so here's the right tyre for you. They're very, very contextual. Secondly, we see really high response rates with mobile. Higher click-through rates than online. And people are more likely to read a text message within 2 minutes of receiving it. It lands on their phone, instantly click and open it up and read it. So we get engagement really, really quickly. The third one, and this is really interesting, is that actually makes campaigns richer. We can make other media interactive. We can have call to actions on TVCs, on billboards and press. You can actually take your consumers somewhere else. So suddenly a campaign that might seem 2D can become 3D. Another key benefit, that it's completely targeted and personal if you want it to be. Here's a case study from a company in the UK that produced hay fever tablets. So consumers were able to sign up, give their location of where they were, then every day during the hay fever season, they received a text message that told them the pollen count on that day in their area, and if it was high, then they were given a reminder to take their hay fever tablet. As a hay fever sufferer, I know how important that is to wake up and know what to do that day. This is really, really useful. The key one, really, which is for anyone sitting in this room, is can it drive sales? Well, yeah, it can. This is a great case study, again from the UK. Apologise for the UK-centric case studies, but until 3 weeks ago I lived there. Walker's Crisps did a campaign where in each pack there was an SMS code. Bought the pack, open up the pack, take your SMS code, text in. They gave away an iPod every hour for a month. And what they found actually was that people were SMSing in at strange times of the day or night. They were thinking that maybe if they text in at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning, there'd be fewer people to compete against. Really engaging campaign, really fun. What it did do was drive sales, uplift to 10%. And not only that, it put one of their key competitors out of business. But to sum all that up, what we find is mobile actually works across a